Hello everyone, and welcome to Nancy's Magic Touch and DIYs. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. And if it's not, well, thank you so much for coming back. In today's video, I am taking 3 thrift store items and making beautiful Christmas decor out of these. So without any further ado, grab something nice and cozy to drink and let's get started.
I found this little sleigh at the thrift store and I thought it would be a super cute project with the holidays being here. So I took it home and I'm just going to remove this piece of string. And the first thing I am going to do with this is paint it because I really don't like this color. But I'm not going to paint the bottom part of this piece. I'm going to paint the top, and I'm going to use some white chalk paint and give it 2 good coats of the white chalk paint on the top. I'm also going to carefully paint all around the side and also the bottom side of this piece. For the ski part of this sleigh, I'm going to use some stain. This is the stain by Benjamin Moore and it's called Dragon Breath. I really love this color and I'm simply going to go over the bottom part of the sleigh with it. This is a water-based stain, so it dries really fast. And I'm really not digging this orangey color ski part on this sleigh, so we're going to tone it down a little bit with this stain. To speed up the process, I am going to take my hair dryer and dry it out, and I'm going to give a second coat of this stain. Now I'm just measuring my little sleigh because I'm going to go on my Cricut design space and create a nice design for the sleigh, so I need the proper sizing. In order to create a two-tone design with some vinyl, you will need to duplicate your design and keep it the exact same size. So it's good to have it locked so that you don't mess that up. And you want to actually ungroup the piece, and on one side you are going to actually get rid of all the red, and on the other side you're all going to get rid of all the black, so the opposite color. And that's how you will create both of your designs that you need to combine together in 2 different tones. Now, as you see me moving that mug, I use the arrow to move back and forth because I want to make sure that I put it right back in the spot that it should be. So count how many times you push that arrow and make sure you push the exact same amount of time back to put it back in place. Now, when you're done removing the unwanted color on each, you have to highlight each one separately and make sure you attach it. That way, Cricut will cut it exactly as is. And now it's very easy to maneuver the two pieces together. As you can see here, my black design stayed intact, and the same thing for my red design. So now you're going to go ahead and put a proper size piece of the red vinyl on your mat and cut that one, and repeat the same thing for the black vinyl. Now that both of my pieces are cut, I'm going to go ahead and weed the unwanted part. And then I am going to transfer this into my sleigh with some transfer paper. I'm doing one color at a time, and you'll see it's really easy to combine the two colors together with the transfer paper. As you can see here, I have my red design all in place. I measured to make sure it was centered, and now I am going to use my transfer paper and pull the black off and just go apply it accordingly around the red area. And now I have the perfect two-tone design on my sleigh. I'm going to go ahead and use some black ink, and I'm going to use just a sponge that I cut up in small piece, and I'm going to apply some of this ink all around the edge of my sleigh. This will give it a little bit more warmth and definition. I'm going to do that on the ski part of the sleigh as well. As you can see here, this gives it a really nice effect. Now I'm just going to use some random decorative pieces that I have on hand along with some ribbon, and I am going to create a decorative piece for the top part of the sleigh. I originally went with this red ribbon, but I find it a bit too bright, so I opted for the plaid one instead. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut 3 strips of 8 inches, and I am gonna cut the ends in fishtail. I always carefully burn the edge of my ribbon because it prevents from fraying. Now I'm using the black and white buffalo plaid, and I am going to cut 2 pieces the exact same size and cut the ends on fishtail as well, and burn very carefully to avoid the fray again. And I'm going to create 2 bows with these. Now I'm going to attach all these together. So you see I'm laying them down on my table, and I'm putting the string behind. This makes it easier to place the ribbon the way you like it and stack your stuff on top. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add my greenery and then the bows and then tie everything together. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie this to the back of the sleigh and add some snowflake to the front area. I find the natural snowflake a little too bright, so I'm going to tone it down with some stain. I'm just going to go ahead and attach these 2 snowflake on the bottom part of the bow. And here is the final result. I love how warm this sleigh is looking now with the two-tone design up front and the rustic look on the ski part. And this is a perfect piece to add next to your hot cocoa bar if you have one. I found these two old-fashioned wooden candle holders at the thrift store, and of course I picked them up. Anything that's all solid wood I get. I'm just going to remove this price tag. I paid $6.99 for these, and I'm going to go ahead and remove these metal pieces that are on the top part of this candle holder. Now I'm just going to take some of my homemade chalk paint and my wax brush, and I am going to go ahead and dry brush this white paint onto the piece. What's nice about dry brushing, there's no right or wrong. I just want to give it a nice rustic effect. I don't want it to be all solid white, so I love the dry brushing for that. So I'm going to go ahead and dry brush these two pieces, and then I am going to give it a light second coat. Now to give it a nicer finish, I am going to also dry brush the back of the piece. I'm using my two metal pieces to trace the circles, the proper size onto this flower foam, I guess you call this. I'm not sure, but you get what I'm saying. So I need two pieces. So I'm just going to trace it, and then I'm going to try to cut it the best I can with some scissors. And then it's no big deal because this squishes really easily, so we're all good. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my metal pieces back in place, and I am going to stuff the green foam onto the candle holder. Now I'm going to use two of these pre-made decorative branches, I guess, and I'm going to cut the stem really short as there's not a whole lot of space onto the candle holder for a long stem. So I'm going to cut both of these pretty short. Now I'm going to use a generous amount of hot glue to the top part of this candle holder, and I am going to stuff my branch on there, and I'm going to hold it for a while until the hot glue sets. And I'm just going to repeat for the second piece. I have moved some of the branches around to make it more even with one another because the branches were really uneven and it bothered me. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add a little dab of glue and put these branches together so it stands straight forward like the other one, because it was really much lower and all curved to the side. Now I'm going to use some candy cane rope, and I'm just going to wrap around the edge of the candle holder piece here and create a bow. Now to add one more little touch, I have these tiny wooden beads at the bottom of the bag. I am going to use 4 of these and attach to the end of the candy cane rope and hold it in place with a knot. And here is the final result. These are super cute. Some people wouldn't even think about looking at these old-fashioned candle holders. I absolutely love them, and they are versatile. You can do multiple things with them. I love the nice country rustic look that these candle holders now have, and they will suit my home perfectly.
Joyful and triumphant, O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him born.
I also found this at the thrift store. This frame was the perfect size, and I'm just going to go ahead now and take the backing apart so that I am down to just the bare frame.
In Christ the Lord.
Now I'm going to go ahead and carefully remove all these staples out of this frame.
Lo, he abhors not the virgin's womb.
I buy a lot of paint, so I have a lot of paint sticks. So I am going to take advantage of this project to put these paint stick to good use. Now I'm going to take my miter saw, I guess it's what it's called. I'm French, I'm not sure. And I'm going to measure the space that I want these paint stick to be. And I'm going to go ahead and cut all these paint stick to size.
Sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, glory in the highest. Oh, come.
Now that I have all my paint stick cut, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to have to modify the last one and trim that a bit. And I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife to cut to size.
Yea, Lord, we greet thee, born this happy morning. Jesus, to thee be glory given. Word of the Father, now in flesh appearing. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore.
I'm going to glue my stick to the frame with some permanent glue. I want this to be permanent, but this glue takes a while to dry. This is my E6000 and no, Gorilla Glue, sorry, but it takes a while to dry, so I want that instant hold as well. So I am going to dab a little bit of hot glue to each side to give me that instant hold. Now that all my sticks are in place, I'm going to flip my frame around and see if I have any excess hot glue that might have slipped over, and I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife and cut it off. Now for extra support, I'm going to go ahead and apply some hot glue all along the edges of these paint sticks. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my spray chalk paint in linen white, and I'm going to give this piece 3 good coats of paint, allowing to dry properly in between each coat. 1 coat done, 2 more to go. I have given 2 coats of protecting spray to my frame, and now I am going to use some of these houses. I have purchased these at Walmart in intention to use them in my home Christmas decor, but I haven't. So I'm going to use them along with some wooden blocks and some foam felt little pieces that you put underneath your furniture. And so the first thing I'm going to do is figure out how I'm going to display these little houses and take off the metal little pieces out of the smaller houses, as I don't need them. Now that I know how I'm displaying my house, I'm just going to measure on each side to make sure it's nice and centered. These bigger houses have a nice ledge on them, but I need a support for the top part, so I'm going to use 2 of these wooden blocks, and if I put one on top of another, they actually fit perfectly. So I really lucked out with that one. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of them on the top part of the house with some hot glue. I'm putting my house exactly in the same spot, making sure I do not disturb the other houses to mess up my measurements. And now I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process for the 2 other bigger houses. Now with the little houses, this is where I'm going to use the felt. I'm going to create some blocks, I guess, just to elevate these little house a little bit. Now I'm going to carefully apply some glue on the edge of the houses. I don't want to overdo it with the glue, as I don't want it to smear everywhere. And I'm going to put my houses back exactly where they were. Now I want to make this a little bit more festive for Christmas for the moment, but I want something that's going to be easy removable, as I want to use it as well for my decor after Christmas, which will be a farmhouse decor. So I want this to have a multifunction. So I'm using some of these little branches from this bunch that you saw me pull out, and I'm just going to create a little mini wreath. I'm just going to apply a little tiny bit of glue on the edge of this branch and curl it in a circle, and that will make my little mini wreath. I'm going to create 3 of these for the 3 bigger houses. Now I'm going to use some of that same candy cane rope, and I am going to attach these mini wreaths to the rooftop of the house. I just want to add a little tiny bit of red color to my design for Christmas, and the way I am going to attach them is when I need this frame for my farmhouse decor, I am just going to tuck the wreath on the back of the house. So I'm just adding a little dab of glue to the edge of my rope, and I'm just going to hold it in place until it dries, and it was that easy. So I went everywhere in town looking for mini lights. The one that I had on hand was just too big, and I found these at the dollar store, so I figured I could just maybe get away with these by removing the little stars. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the stars out of these and put some batteries in there and see what we can do. I also cut a big piece of brown paper to cover the back of this frame, and I just hot glued it in place just to make it more presentable. So now I'm going to put the mini lights behind the houses, and I'm gonna use the help of my tweezer to push them around and tuck them underneath the smaller houses. And this is the final result. I am so in love with this piece. This is totally me. I love the clean look of this piece, the simplicity, and the fact that you can use it for multiple decor as well. I am going to be using this in my house for multiple occasions, and I am so happy that this all came together the way it did.
Well, that's it for this video, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, you know, I want to hear all your comments down below. I want to know which one of the 3 is your favorite. If you liked it, I need those big thumbs up. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel and you like what you see, well, today is a perfect time to hit that red button. Until next time, folks, you have yourself a wonderful day.